Hello everybody, Tzilla here, and today I have put together this little tier list of all of the Monsterverse Godzilla designs. Now, I think this is all of them, and we are only doing the designs in the movies and TV shows, nothing from the comics. S tier is obviously going to be my favorite designs, and then D tier, I don't think we're going to have anything that low, but that'll be the worst. This is just my opinion, just what I think about the designs, where I rank them, and well, let's get into it. I have the designs here placed in chronological order of release, so Godzilla 2014, King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, Monarch, and then Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. Starting with Godzilla 2014, this is my all-time favorite Godzilla design. This is an easy S tier for me. I think this was a perfect update to Godzilla. I love how this design is Godzilla, but it's original. It's our American Godzilla. It's still the Godzilla we know and love, but it's fresh and unique, and I love the new dorsal plates, I love the new sound effects. Like I said, this is my favorite Godzilla overall. I just love everything about this design, and Godzilla 2014, the movie. So, like I said, easy S tier for me. Next, we have the 2014 flashback in Godzilla King of the Monsters, where they use, I think it's the King of the Monsters model with some adjusted dorsal plates. It is not the Godzilla 2014 model, and not gonna lie, seeing that in the theater kind of bummed me out. I was hoping I'd get to see my favorite design again, so just because it's kind of lazy and somewhat breaks the continuity. I know the Monsterverse doesn't really hold its continuity that close, but just because I'm not really a fan of it, it's going to be in the C tier. Now, going on to King of the Monsters itself, that design, I have very mixed feelings on this. On one hand, they changed all of the original things I loved about the 2014 design. They copy and pasted Toho spikes on it, they changed the tail, changed the feet, gave them a pinhead. Overall, I didn't really like any of these changes. So, just because of that, I want to put it in the D tier, but on its own, just if this was the first Monsterverse design we got for Godzilla, I think it's solid. I think we're going to put that right in a B tier. It's not great, but it's definitely not a bad design. It's just personally not my favorite. Next, we have Burning Godzilla with the Mothra wings, kinda. I don't like this necessarily as a Burning Godzilla. I don't know how I really feel about this design. I prefer the 90s Burning Godzilla, how it more has the patches on it as opposed to it just glowing red. I do like the Mothra wings with the nuclear pulse though. I think that was a really good addition to this design. Again, it's not bad, it's just not my favorite. We're going to put it in B tier. Now, going on from King of the Monsters, we're now on Godzilla vs. Kong. This is technically the same model as King of the Monsters, but it has a more brown texture and I believe a better texture. It's like a higher res. The King of the Monsters model didn't always look the best in that movie, especially in the final fight with Ghidorah. There was just a lot of shots where the model did not look nearly as good as 2014. Since they basically updated the model and improved it, I gotta put it at the top of B tier. It's not enough to get into A tier, but it's a good design, and I like that they made some improvements. Going on from the GVK Godzilla, we have Godzilla when he's burrowing into the hollow earth. I included this because he glows all blue here, and it's kind of the first time we've seen this in the Monsterverse. They introduced the glowing eyes in King of the Monsters. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I actually think Godzilla Evolved is the only one to do that right, but we'll get to Godzilla Evolved later. For now, I think this is going to go right there. It has the improvements over the King of the Monsters design. I don't love the glowing eyes. I'm not the biggest fan of the blue glow. At least how it was portrayed here. It kind of didn't last. It was short. It was cool to see him charge up and shoot his atomic breath all the way into the hollow earth. That was awesome, but design-wise, I don't like it any more or less, really, than the non-blue design. Now moving on to Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, we have 3 Godzilla designs here. First, we have the Godzilla that appeared in 1954, and this is going straight to S tier. It's just the Godzilla 2014 design, but he's a little bit thinner. basically take everything I said about 2014 and copy and paste it here. I love this design, and I like how he looks kind of dinosaur-esque with him being a little thinner. He kind of reminds me of a big dinosaur, and that's, to me, what Godzilla is, so that's going right into S tier. Next, we have the design for Godzilla when he wakes up in Africa, and that's going to go above King of the Monsters, but below GVK. I don't think it's too different from the GVK or King of the Monsters design. I think his spikes might be a little smaller because they're regrowing, but it's an okay design for me. I don't like it more than the GVK ones, but it does have those improvements over the King of the Monsters design. Godzilla fighting the Ion Dragon. I believe this is a little different than the one in Africa. I think his spikes are bigger now, and I think this is basically just the same one as King of the Monsters and GVK, but I really liked how it looked in Monarch. I really loved the final fight with the Ion Dragon, and I think it'll go above the Blue Glow. It's not in my A tier, but I do really like how Godzilla was portrayed in Monarch Legacy of Monsters, especially that final episode. It was just fantastic. Now we are on to the newest Monsterverse movie, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire, and starting that, we have our new thermonuclear burning, whatever you want to call him, Godzilla. The all-blue glowing Godzilla. I really like this, actually. I like this a lot more than the red burning Godzilla. I like how it was portrayed a lot. I like seeing it in the nice, sunny, bright day, and I think that'll have to be my first A tier. The reason I like it more than the GVK and King of the Monsters designs is because it adds that uniqueness again. Yes, it has the Toho dorsal plates that they added. Yes, it has the shorter tail. But the blue glow is something new that the Monsterverse brought, and I like the originality. A tier. Next, we have Godzilla Evolved, and this is going right to S tier. I love Godzilla Evolved. It is one of my favorite Godzilla designs ever. It might be my second favorite. I think overall it is just a perfect modern Godzilla, taking influences from more modern things like Dragon Ball, Godzilla Singular Point, and Godzilla 2000. It also feels very much like a T-Rex and Stegosaurus combined with the leaner body and the Thagomizers on the tail. I love the giant pink dorsal spikes that almost look like shark fins. It's a great design. Jared, the designer of this, knocked it out of the park. I think this is one of the best Godzilla designs. I'm okay if it doesn't return for the next Monsterverse movie because we saw plenty of it in Godzilla x Kong. I thought it was wonderful. The Egypt fight is one of my favorite Godzilla scenes of all time, and a lot of that reason is because of this design. Easy S tier for me. And now last, we have our powered up Godzilla Evolved, and that is going right in S tier. I love the spiral atomic breath. That has always been something I loved. Repeat everything I said about Godzilla Evolved. I also love the colors for powered up Godzilla Evolved. I love how his eyes are glowing in this version. This is the only time I like it. I like how it has a little sound when they light up too. There's some power behind it. This Godzilla feels like Super Saiyan Godzilla. He just feels super powerful. And I just love how they did the powered up version of Godzilla Evolved. So yeah, this is my Monsterverse Godzilla Designs tier list. We'll just go over it again from the bottom to the top. In C tier, we have the 2014 flashback design in the beginning of King of the Monsters. At the bottom of B tier, we have Burning Godzilla. Then we have King of the Monsters Godzilla. Godzilla from Legacy of Monsters when he wakes up in Africa. Next in B tier, we have Godzilla burrowing to the Hollow Earth in Godzilla vs. Kong. We have the Godzilla that showed up to fight the Ion Dragon in that finale of Monarch Legacy of Monsters. And at the top of B tier, we have the GVK Godzilla. Alone in A tier, we have our blue burning Godzilla from Godzilla x Kong. And then at the bottom of S tier, we have powered up Evolved Godzilla and Evolved Godzilla. And then at the top of S tier, Monarch Legacy of Monsters, 2014, 1954 Godzilla. I don't know what you call him, Bikini Atoll Godzilla. And then finally, Godzilla 2014. Let me know what you guys think of this down in the comments. Let me know how you would rank these Godzillas. Or at minimum, just let me know what your favorite design is. And thank you so much for watching to the end, and I will see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.